For part 2 of our mountain watercolor scene, we have to take another piece of paper, and this time all we're creating is a big wash all over the background. So it's going to be the same kind of colors that are covering the entire sheet. And before you start, you want to make sure you get your name on it, because it's going to be very wet with water. This time we're not using any special tricks. You're going to pick some kind of a sky color for your whole thing. So it could be blues and purples. It could be sunset colors, which would be our warm colors down here. Should not see black and brown. Shouldn't see any green. So figure out what colors you want, and that's what we're going to use to cover the whole page. Okay? And you want to make sure you get your paper a little wet, and you work on this in pieces. Get the paper wet, get your brush really sopping wet, and then paint the color on. If you don't like using the wet on wet technique, if it doesn't work for you, you can also take your color and put it in your lid, and we just add a lot of water to it, and that thins it down. If you want your color to be bolder, you add a little more paint to it so it has more pigment. But that's how you make a wash. You add a lot of water to the picture. So you can mix your colors as long as they're next door to each other, which is analogous. And make sure you fill up the whole page. So you need to be careful when you paint, because if you add too much water, the paper can shred, the paper can tear. So mine's to the point up here where I don't want to add any more because things are going to start falling apart. So I'm just going to fill up the whole thing, because the top part's going to be sky. And then down here, this might be part of a lake up in the mountains. And now my whole paper is filled. So I started with my reds and my oranges and my yellows, and then I switched back to that, because if I had water down here, it would reflect what's in the sky. So I had to repeat my colors at some point. And while we're working with this, it's watercolor. You want your brush to be really, really wet. It's really thirsty. So I shouldn't see anyone pinching their brush. It's totally unnecessary. Just put it in the water, put it in the paint, and paint it on.